Boom. What's up, bro?
How's it going, bro? I'm like
Good.
checking out the space. I'm just curious. I know it's still being set up, but it's pretty cool.
I mean, it's a startup, you know. We put some Greg Overton art. One of our friends, surfers, UFC gloves, and
Okay.
little by
Sick.
little, we're gonna. In the next weeks, I'm gonna have a Defer tag that bag.
Okay.
He's a,
Sick.
he's, you know Defer?
I don't know, but I'm assuming some artist that you
It's a
fuck with.
great graffiti artist.
Okay.
He's great.
That's sick. Yeah, what a cool ass fucking space. This is gonna be filled up. Do you have a name for the podcast?
We call him the Chito Vera podcast for now.
Okay. Sick.
Pretty simple, keeping the name going, you know.
This is episode number.
Two.
This is episode number 2.
This is
okay.
number 2.
Yeah, set up for episode number 2 is Cheeto hit me up and was like, yo, do you want to come to my pod or something like this? And for some reason, I was like, he doesn't have a podcast. He probably means pad or like something like this. And I'm just coming over straight up with like, oh man, I got a little bit of hash for you. I might have smoked a nice spliff before coming here. And then it's like, no, it was actually a podcast.
I mean,
Surprise.
when I say pod, I assume that's the right way to say it. But next, I'm gonna start saying when for my next future guest, I will be like, I want to say pod because I'll be a little more specific when I invite them.
Podcast for sure. I feel like if you do a lot of podcasts, pod probably makes sense. But oh man, should I intro myself? Should I say who I am?
Let's tell the world who you are, bro.
Okay, so my name is Volodarsky. I founded a company called Puffco. We make devices that you've definitely seen Cheeto use across the world. This is one of them. This one is called a Proxy. If through this convo you're curious about it, you could just go onto Instagram and look up Puffco. I'm Jolly Roger on Instagram, and I also do a little bit of content here and there.
Great streaming, by the way. Comes a lot
Thank
of
you.
hash. I mean, I learned a lot about hash through you, especially because you're talking about the people that you see them in overseas or other countries.
Oh,
And
yeah.
what was the guy from Spain that make like the white one?
Are you talking about Piatella? Are you talking about Uncle's Farm or a different?
I don't remember the exact name, but it's a guy that it's homemade, small batches. But
Okay.
you were very intrigued by the way, the texture, the color, and of course the high.
So there was something I encountered at this point a couple years ago. This story started in 2021, but it was a type of resin. It's so funny speaking to like a wider audience that probably doesn't know about hash a ton. So what we're talking about is contemporary hash, but made in a new school way. And there are different forms of it. There's rosin, there's water hash that rosin comes from. And while I was in Spain, I walk into this one shop that was taking water hash, looks like this powdery substance. I don't have any fresh enough here to see it. And what he does is cure it, but he cold cures it and has his own special technique. And what this does is it traps all of the terps in the water hash and makes it look the same for a while. It's really good to dab. It's great in a spliff, in an actual like European hash spliff.
But that's the beginning of the hash, right? You have to mix it with tobacco, right? That's how Europeans does it, right?
Europeans and in Brazil, they love to mix tobacco and hash. That's like a huge thing down there here. But that is like the European spliff. That's how it's made, tobacco and water hash.
And that's a great high. It was a good spliff.
I mean, I have some here. Can't imagine you smoke tobacco for.
I can take a puff.
All right.
Just to like taste it.
I brought some.
Yeah,
and,
we're gonna try.
You know, maybe.
But like
yeah.
my first encounter with hash, I remember I had this friend that lived in Spain for a few years. He came back and, you know, we always grew up smoking weed, regular weed, right? So this guy came back from Spain and he's like, dude, you want to smoke one with hash? And I say, what the fuck is that? Like when he say hash, the first time I was thinking like, you're going to sprinkle some other chemical drug to my joint. I said like,
Sure,
no.
okay.
And then he said, no, it's actually weed. It's like he literally brought a few big balls from Spain. I don't know how he brought them, but he brought them to Ecuador.
Okay, makes
So
sense. I know people
we did a joint, and he crumbles a little bit on top, close the joint. I took like 4 or 5 puff, and I was melt on the car. I was on the car seat. I was just like melt. Me and this car on the seat were one, and my friends are laughing. It's like, dude, the heat's different. I was just
It
like,
is different.
and I was just looking at him, kind of like like I became a vegetable for like an hour.
Is this like the old school Moroccan hash?
Yeah,
like
like
the
the
very
dark.
brown one? Yeah.
Yeah.
So the difference with that one is Moroccan hash is just cured longer. They apply heat to it. They don't clean it up as well as they do contemporary hash, the new stuff that we smoke. And that high will get you like really sleepy and really dumb and really zonked out.
Yep.
And the new style spliffs can do that too. But to me, they're a little bit more uplifting. I want to pull one out, but I'm going to get so high to record. Like it's
Maybe we'll do it after.
okay. Yeah. I have one here. It's ready when you're ready. I feel like we're topical though.
Or or just bring it out.
We'll get to it. Yeah.
We take
Yeah.
a small.
I mean,
we
let me pull it out for
we
now.
give it a little taste of it.
Okay.
We're gonna make these guys smoke too.
If you take like a dry pull, one is Bonkers. This is from the Frosties. And the other one, this is the Bonkers. And then this one is Motor Breath. And maybe it's from the person you were describing. How it got in California, I have no idea, but maybe.
Oh no, this is back in Ecuador.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said you got it from. I'm talking about the original guy that you mentioned, like a hash I saw
okay,
in
okay,
Spain.
got it. The
Yeah.
one I saw on your social media. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. But this one is. This shit is heavy. Let's see. We're gonna chance it. We're gonna try.
When this transition happened between the regular Moroccan hash to like this new hash, the one that I smoke.
So, I mean, the story of. Again, we call it contemporary hash, but like just to draw that line of there's a moment it changed. I say the early 2010s. That's when I was seeing like BHO take off. People were in their houses filling glass tubes with weed and blasting butane into it, letting it drip out into a pan, and then just letting it dry. This is what people were smoking.
The yellow one.
14 years ago. It got better throughout the years. They would call it shatter. At the same time, water hash is being made, but it's by a few people. There isn't like a large community making it or selling it, but they exist at the same time. But these dabs or wax as they were calling it, and this is, my story. I'm a New Yorker, so this is what I was seeing there. That's early 2010s. And through all this dabbable world, now, if you go to Morocco, and I've seen it when I'm in Spain, they have Moroccan hash that's runts, that's cookies, that's like strains you've heard of here, GMO, and it's Moroccan style. And I hear, and I might go out there to investigate myself on some of these trips I take on my YouTube. I heard they're starting to process not by using these sifting machines, but actually by making water hash. So it's almost gone full circle. We went from like Moroccan hash being really amazing for a long time, kind of being seen as the lower end, and now all these new strains and all these new techniques are making their way back to Morocco. It's kind of crazy. Like
it's an evolution. I mean, if you think about it, it goes from smoking weed to the hash to like it's going up there. I mean, and all these different flavors and strains and generics. You can grab any type of weed and make it into something.
I mean, it's just crazy how traveling the world, something that I do for my YouTube page is I go across the world and I see places that cannabis is a part of their culture. So like I've been to Thailand, I've been to Colombia, I've been to a few places where it really resonates there.
That tastes good.
And one of the things I've learned is just like the cannabis story and the story of hash is as old as cannabis is. Like you would think in India or in that area where it kind of started, that hash would be a process people would figure out. But charas is made by people just going into the fields and rubbing their hands all through the plants. And they have this resin that coats their hands, and they pick it off and then they smoke that hash on some type of chillum. And it's just a natural part of like our body is built to collect this resin
That's crazy.
and to smoke it. Yeah.
That's literally like handmade hash right there. Like you pull it off the plant, you take whatever's in there, and you smoke that.
And I've heard stories like this in places like Kyrgyzstan. Shout out to my homie Daniel. It's everywhere across the world, and how our cultures have lived with it is crazy the deeper you look. You know, we think it's all new. People are smoking now, and it's older than this country, right? It's older than Western ideology, and it's why I'm so in love with it. You know, like it doesn't just connect me to a good feeling or to really interesting people. It actually connects me to human history in a way I didn't think possible.
I mean, this is not a new thing. Like weed is not a new thing.
Yeah.
On all these places that you've been, like visiting or just starting, where you found the most interesting way to smoke it or to process the weed from plant to smoke?
Oh man, so to smoke it is a good question. I mean, for me, it's probably been Spain. Spain has put me on to chillums. They've put me on to spliffs. They put me on to ways of consuming that were really out of what I understood things to be. You know, as far as manufacturing or extracting goes, I mean, the U.S. it's crazy what we do here. Like every time I go to a different country, if I see people with good hash, I see them using, not to say U.S. made machines, but technology and tech that came from here. And some places I'll go to, it blows my mind. I mean, Colombia, again, I was shocked at how much good hash I saw coming from the north, coming from the south, and then throughout all of Latin America. And it's since 2017 to 19, things have gone there from people just blasting these same tubes, same journey the Americans went through.
Right.
But instead of going through it over 14 years, they go through it in a 5-year period. Blasting tubes to making flower rosin, to washing hash, to then making rosin. So anyways, U.S. for sure in tech, but it's going everywhere now.
Because I remember, like years ago, my friends used to like just put the weed in this little container, blast it with butane. This yellow thing comes out of it. They put it in the freezer.
Yeah.
Wait a few minutes, cut it, and they would just smoke. They would like get a big torch, and just get really hot the glass, the tip of the bong. Not even like the actual, like the dab, like the nice glass to make dabs. Burn that thing, throw in there, and those ones were so gnarly because.
What year is this?
I wasn't fighting, so it's definitely 2012, 2011. Like this is a long time ago.
So you're one of like the earliest dabbers.
But my friends were more into it. I only smoke joints. I wasn't too big into the pipe. I wasn't too big. I just like to smoke joints. I felt good smoking joints.
Damn.
I like the taste, and I always smoke with coffee.
Yeah.
I love coffee, so I'm
great.
always like, if I take a sip of coffee, smoke a joint, because all my friends, we all grew up smoking cigarettes, but there was a point that I was like, I want to be an athlete, so I never did it again, and I smoked joints. But then my group of friends, I never changed my group of friends growing up until today.
Sure.
So they, as a few years ago, they still like doing the mutant thing.
No
and
way.
It was the gnarliest hits, because that thing, once you're putting all the chemical into the herb.
Know. Yeah.
But now that this have become so big, all my friends smoke hash. Like actually pretty good hash.
I mean, the best thing for those homies is when they come here to get them with the people that know how to make it. Because it's very easy to make that butane stuff. Anyone with a tube can do it. You're inhaling butane. Like you're inhaling not good things. And that stuff is made in a garage, and they could blow themselves up. Somebody goes outside and lights up a cigarette, they could blow up an entire block if they're doing it all day. Not an entire block, but it can be bad.
You can blow something up. That's for sure.
Yeah.
You're blowing something up.
But to learn how to make water hash or even flower rosin, like they could just take a nug and squish it and get something to dab if it's good stuff. And you guys have great weed in your country.
I get used to some sort of flavor, and I don't want to change it. I'm
So
like,
what is that for you? What's that flavor that you love?
I mean, sometimes there's some papayas or mangoes that I'm like,
Okay.
I mean, by the way, Mikey brings me the best hash. Let's give.
Let's
him,
shout out some hash companies.
Yeah.
What are those hash companies?
I mean, Water Boys.
Okay.
What's
Shout
the
out Water
one with
Boys.
the T and the D? I'm bad with names.
Dairy Farms? Is that one?
No, I have like 2 letters on top of each other. I would have to call I need Mikey here.
It's okay. Mikey's gonna make an appearance soon. Hopefully.
We'll put a luchador
Special
mask
way.
on him.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it, but like if Mikey's here with the luchador mask, I want to be here.
My goals. I told him this. That's what brought he didn't came. I told him I'm gonna put you in a luchador mask, shirtless, with a cap, like a Nacho Libre cap, bro. He's gonna look fucking glorious. I'm telling you.
When you guys meet Mikey, you'll understand why. Like first of all, I can see the mask. You're not getting Mikey to come shirtless and do all that. I cannot imagine Mikey doing
There's
that.
always a way to convince a homie, and he's a good friend. So I would do for him. I'm good with that.
You're
one,
good?
actually.
Yeah.
Thank you, bro. I'm gonna make him do it. But I was like, the hash that he brings is great. I mean, and some of the flavors are the ones that sometimes get the most, because sometimes there's some crazy flavors. There's some like,
Man, if I knew I was going to be on a podcast today, I would have brought my straight like archive. I mean, I brought a jar that's empty. That's hilarious. This is mine.
I wanna learn how to press myself.
So pressing is not very hard, right? Pressing is super mechanical. We're talking about rosin, and for pressing, you just need the screens, you know, the machinery, everything. But once you know the tech, almost anyone can do it, right? Like that part is not the incredible part. And some people would even argue that washing the hash to make water hash, you dump all of the flour into water. It's in screens, and you just swirl it around. Rather, you pour. Oh my God, I'm gonna say that one more time. One take. You take, in order to make water hash, you throw a bunch of flour in a bucket with water and ice. You stir it around. You pour out the water through screens. That's how it's made. People would argue that even that is easy and almost anyone could do it. All of the real magic is with the grower. And like, even I'm starting a growing journey myself now, because in my mind, I'm like, if the world ends, if it goes to shit, I want to know that with just like, you know, a few seeds in my pocket, I'll be all right. Like I'll find a way to like make it again.
Maybe a couple guns.
But if you, even for your house, you're in California, we're allowed to have 6 plants here.
Per person.
Per person. I think, I don't know how it works per household, but in my house, only 6 plants, government. No more. I'm not, this is for me. This is my own personal journey with cannabis, but learning how to press rosin is easy. As soon as you want, let me know. I'm sure Mikey knows too. A million places you can go to press it. But making the actual like flower, that's where I want to start. So I'm like selecting a strain that I love the hash of. It's actually this strain right here. Grape gas. It smells a little bit like grape and very gassy.
This smells great.
Shout out Feeling Frosty.
The grapes are great.
So this, well, it's not announced yet, but it's okay if you look at the reveal here. This is the strain I'm going to choose to grow for the first time for myself.
Hey, congratulations. That smells good to me.
Yeah, but definitely try pressing, try it all. But if you could even try to like get a cut from a friend in a pot and just have it at your house and water it and see it grow and see the flowers come. Your connection to this, when you look at that and you're like, holy shit, to go from this to this.
That's like hunting your own meat.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? One thing is going to the supermarket and get a ribeye. One thing is taking a shot, cut it. I mean, that makes total sense. That's like have your own garden.
It's absolutely.
You're harvesting.
I couldn't recommend it more, and being closer to like your supply chain of food, of animals, of plants. I always advocate for that. Like it's something people should know more about, but at least for you, bro, like you've been doing this for 12, 14 years now of dabbing.
Is it right? Is the right way to do it? It's the right way to do it. What you when you started smoking, you were smoking flower or you dab your whole life?
No, I mean,
or how you discover?
I started young, bro. So like I started I mean, this story can go down a pretty deep hole actually, but I started at 13 years old. That was like my first time smoking
Same.
smoking weed. Um, Again, the government says everybody must be 21 plus, and the government,
Right.
they enforce these things. So me, I was 13. I still think that's still too young, right? Like I don't think you would, you know.
I did at the same age. That's why I knuckle you because I was skating and the older skaters were passing a joint and I went like no the first time, and then I kind of felt like let me see.
At 13, did you
Yeah.
keep using it like regular after?
I the first time I got a good high, and I felt like wow, like I felt weird. I was like, what's going on? But then nothing bad happened. I remember I was watching myself in the mirror and I was like, whoa, weed. It was like a movie.
Weed.
And then I took a month break, kind of like I didn't see these guys anymore for a while.
Mhm.
And then I went to the skate park again, and they were there, and I was just like, "Can I take another hit?" And I was just like, "Okay." And then I started buying weed and rolling joints, but I never got too crazy with it. Like
Mm.
I had friends that they started smoking and they became zombies. I started smoking and it was more like a dessert for me, like skipping a day, maybe once a week, twice a week. I wasn't like going crazy on it, and I felt that's why until today it helped me to have a balance. But not
Mm.
everybody have the same mind.
That was not me at 13. I was like, I started doing it immediately. I mean, as much as I could afford, like when you're a teenager, you don't have money. And like, I also wasn't doing good things. Like the first bong I ever made was like taking like an Advil bottle and like burning a hole in it with a cigarette and then putting in a little pen tube and making my own, which is so weird to think of where I ended up and that's what I was doing as
But
a
that's why you create this.
I would take that and then I would go and smoke it in a park with other kids my age who are not doing that. So as an adult, I feel weird because they say that it doesn't help the development of brains of younger kids, and I believe that. And then on the other end, I know that like if I had a healthy life overall when I was a teenager, I probably wouldn't have used weed in that way.
Right.
But it's hard. It's so hard for me. I want to say like, listen, even some teenagers need it too. But one, in the position I'm in, I could never say that. And two, I don't want to get young.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's better to go by the rule, right? I mean, don't. If we're to a point that we are a platform, yeah, better don't do it. Wait till you're a little older, because also not everybody think the way we think. Because we didn't get to this point for no reason. We're getting to this point regardless if we were smoking or not smoking. But for other people out there, for other younger kid or someone that is just trying to make it in this world, they go, they look something. Oh, I can do that too. It's like no, give it a try at life. Go hard and see if you can actually make something, and then you can take your own decisions. But that's what like I in a way I'm an advocate for weed, and
Sure.
I have few people going like, oh, but you're the kids love and everything. I'm like, yeah, but I'm not. Read the caption. I'm not.
Oh, and
I'm not promoting,
yeah,
but I'm human and I have a life and I don't want to be hiding.
people in your position get alcohol endorsements. Like to me, it's way better to endorse cannabis than it is to endorse alcohol, especially to younger people. Like it's
Yeah.
all to me. It's all
It's a battle, right?
Yeah.
It's a battle that like a guy will tell you, oh, smoking weed is super bad for you, but then you're getting shit faced every weekend. You're eating the worst food, and God knows what else you're doing. In the other side, I'm taking a hit once a day, and I'm training twice a day, have a family, cook good food, eat the best I can, fast, ice, cold plunge. I mean, it
So
comes
there,
into
yeah.
perspective.
There's I feel almost obligated. It's like you're seeing some tension with me, and like, oh, well, maybe not everybody should start at 13. I'll give as quick as I can my little story of like my drug use as a teenager, which may be good context to any younger people watching. So I started at 13. I actually had my family friends knew I smoked weed, and they all went and told my dad, like, hey, he smokes weed. He's a bad kid. And so my dad kind of lost it and was like, you're getting tested. You know, I can't believe I failed with my son, all this crazy shit. So I stopped smoking weed, 16 years old, and a friend of mine comes over the house and he's like, hey, I got this thing in my grandma's house. It says controlled and dangerous substance, but it's not weed. It won't test positive for weed. What is it? It's Oxycontin. 16 years old. So like that's what steps into my life at 16. I stayed an opiate addict from 16. And like, this to me is the dark side of using drugs as a teenager. I stayed an opiate addict until 27, 28 years old. It took my 20s for me. Like nothing meaningful got done. Meaningful things happened. But it really took a large part of my life for me, you know? I ended up, the good part of this story is I ended up in New York. I was at my rock bottom. I look up and I see like on the subway, like call this number if you're addicted or something. I call up the number. I actually called them up like 8 times because they kept like not answering. And it ended up being a university program that uses cannabis to try to get people off of opiates. And they gave me 3 options when I walked in that they will pick one of. One, we give you a pill, like a cannabis pill, and you take this and you don't use opiates. And they give you like a shot, so even if you eat opiates, it won't work. The other one is we give you Suboxone. Everybody knows what Suboxone is. It's like this thing you use to get people off of opiates, but you can become addicted to it too. Third option, nothing. You just give you a shot with no opiates, so you can't feel opiates, an anti-opiate shot, and that's it. We're giving you the third option, but we want you to smoke weed because you say you smoke weed. We want to see if you are different than the people we give a pill to.
Oh, wow.
So I go into this program, and I exit it successfully. It's about 13, 14 years now, no opiates. Like, if you're out there watching, you could throw me a DM, Jolly Roger, on IG. I will help you as much as I can. I try to help anyone who needs any advice on this journey. I am then going in New York to see my homegirl in New Jersey, right across the bridge. George Washington Bridge is where the program was and where she lived. And when I cross, I jaywalk. Cop stops me. I have 2 joints in my pocket. In my bag, I have like 7 grams of hash and an ounce of weed. There's more than 7 grams of hash here, and I'm sure there's probably an ounce of weed in this house for sure. And I get arrested, and I'm facing 1 to 3 years in New Jersey because they're charging me with intent to distribute for 1 ounce of weed
Personal.
and 7 grams. So I'm facing 1 to 3 years. My life is a mess. I go into the same program and I say, do you have something for weed? I need to get off weed. It's destroying my life. And they set me up for their cannabis division. And I go in there and the guy's interviewing me. He's like, okay, I want to get into this program. Let's talk about your addiction to cannabis. And he's like, what do you steal for this? Do you miss work for this? Is it hurting relationships in your life? Do you feel like you miss major things for cannabis? All these different questions, and everything was no. And at the end, he's like, I'm sorry, I can't admit you. You have a problem with cannabis. Your problem is that it's illegal, and you're looking at your freedom being taken away, but you're not addicted.
That's crazy.
At all.
I mean, there's someone that works at the program tells you that.
And I ended up getting probation or something with that case. Like, it ended up working out. Shout out to the lawyer that I had for that. But that man is the reason Puffco exists today.
Wow.
Because if I quit smoking in that moment, this idea, not for this device, this came many years later, but the idea for this business came within 18 months of me getting sober. Like, I just barely had the case in my rear view, and I was just working on what can I do with my life now.
Wow.
And this came. So whole story being of when it's like, it's okay if you consume as a teen. I genuinely disagree, because you can have the luck of Chito where it never really took over their life, or you could have my luck where you make it an opiate, where you may become an opiate addict, but you might not beat it, you know? So like, if you're young, just the more you can wait on things that seem tempting, the more calculated you can be on the relationship you'll have. So if you're young and watching this, I feel obligated.
That's facts. I mean, yeah, exactly. Wait a little longer. Ask older people about it. Like, some people's gonna tell you some people might slap you, some people might get mad at you.
I know that.
But someone out there will probably give you the good advice, like the guy that you went for with. So like, nothing that you told me is bad. You don't have one bad sign of being addicted. You had it with the opiates, but then you go, oh, weed is bad. Don't do weed. Then you go to your friends and be like, what's not like what they can test for? I mean, you can take these pills that they will kill you,
Sure.
but no one will test you for that. So you go, oh, okay, let me try that. Because when you don't know, it's normal.
Yeah, in my generation, we had no idea, like you seeing this thing in a pill bottle, you're assuming it's safer than something you get off the street. You have no idea. This to me is happening in 1999.
That's why you see a lot of moms. They won't do a line of cocaine. They won't smoke weed, but they go to the doctor and be like, I'm stressed.
Xanax,
Opiates,
yeah.
Xanax,
Yeah.
Heroin, boom. And then that's killing society right now because you just need to roll your ankle.
Sure. Oh yeah. No, I was just telling you I almost didn't make it today because shout out to Saronster. He's this crazy YouTuber who does these e-bike videos. And I asked him which one to get, and he recommended like one of the fastest ones ever. I'm 41 years old, yo. I ate shit this past weekend. I got 2 yellowed up, mangled up knees right now. Almost didn't fucking make it. I forgot again why I brought that up. I'm a high ass.
Well, because that happened today, right?
That happened on Saturday.
I mean, that's not too far ago.
It's
for a fall like that.
I mean, I pulled my groin. I'm. It's okay. I forgot why I brought it up though. What were we just talking about?
We were talking about the opiates. Oh, I said you can
roll
your ankle.
That's
and
right.
ask for
Exactly. So when I went to the doctor, first thing I say is, not first thing, but as soon as he's like, okay, before he prescribes anything, former opiate addict, he's like, don't worry, I don't even write scripts for opiates. I'm giving you this steroid for inflammation to make sure it doesn't swell up too much. I'm going to give you this ibuprofen shot. Make sure your inflammation right now is not bad. Now listen, right? I was working out this morning, like I was stretching and doing stuff.
But
this morning.
But think about it: if that doctor will put you on opiates this morning, you probably won't be training. You probably will be really negative in bed, just thinking bad shit.
I'd be a bad fucking vibe. I tell you that right now.
I know that. Like after every time I have an injury or after a fight, if it's a hard fight, and I get prescribed opiates, I go like this to the garbage. Yeah. And if they give me the bottle, I go. I have never taken one.
Amazing. There's no. I mean, this is unfair to say because I know that there are cancer patients that use it for relief, and I'm sure it has a medicinal place. But man, when I eat opiates, I think I get so high that I just don't care about the pain, but the pain is still there.
Exactly.
And then I'm all angry and stuff. So now I just eat edibles, and now I'm so high I don't care, but I'm not angry.
It just numb you to the pain, but the pain is still there.
Oh yeah.
You're not feeling it. It's blocking the nerves for working, but it's not fixing you. You know what fixes you? Something healthy, maybe the better anti-inflammatories, jump in a hyperbaric chamber.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
and what it gives, it will take away, right? That relief it gives you when you stop taking it, you pay the price.
And then you get hooked up to it. Then your brain is like, I need that.
That was the worst feeling ever, which I forget about often, of like just getting off the opiates. It was like going through a movie in your mind of your entire life of every injury you ever had. Because now my body is just like, it has nothing inside of it.
That's great.
Every, like, when I rolled my ankle when I was 13, when I got a scar on this knee from this when I was younger, every inch, I wish people at least knew the risks associated with it, because most people just trust and...
They see a guy with a white t-shirt, tell them like, this is good for you, no questions asked.
No, it's okay.
And that's also fucked up. I mean, sometimes when I'm watching the fight on TV, every single medicine that they promote in between fights on the propaganda.
On the propaganda?
At the end, they say this.
Yes, agreed.
Well, how you call it?
No, you said it right the first time. You said it right.
Yeah.
Yes, on the propaganda.
But in
That's what
Spanish,
it is.
propaganda means like the commercial. Oh, the commercial.
Where it is propaganda here.
It is
as well,
propaganda.
for sure.
So check this out. Every medicine, antidepressant, HIV, flu, whatever they put, at the end they go, side effects. Thoughts of death, depression. You want to kill yourself pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, straight
And
up.
I go, who in the normal mind goes like, oh, this might help me. I'm very in tune with my body.
Yeah,
So the moment I see these fucking things, I'm like, they're telling you.
bro.
You will start thinking about dying if you take that pill that will help you, I don't know, take the fucking rush away. Fuck that.
I mean, there's a pill to quit smoking cigarettes. I know because a doctor recommended it once. And I was like, I can't take that shit. Like, I have clinical depression from when I was younger. And, like, I battle it with mushrooms, with exercise, with, like, talking. Like, I found a way to not take pills for it. You're going to give me something that makes me want to for sure, like, it throws the chemicals off even more. Fucking smoke cigarettes, man. Like, I know that that's not going to make me want to kill myself. And not that I'm even promoting that, but it's crazy somebody could see that, not read the fine print, say hear from their pharmacist, just read the risks, some depressive thoughts.
That's
And
crazy.
It's, our system here is very, very flawed.
I mean, it's really made to weakening anybody that needs help. You need help, you're going to feel more miserable now.
So there's a book I'm reading, which is great. It's called How to Not Die. Fair warning, or I guess whatever, more context. I recently found out, I'm 41, I have a little bit of calcium in my heart. And I have a family, history of heart disease. And I went to my doctor and I was like, what can I do to reverse this? And she was like, plant-based diet. She's like, it's the only way. Plant-based diet is the only thing known to reverse heart disease. And so I'm like, fuck. My lady is vegan. I'm not. I just ate chicken 2 days ago. But she said if I can like turn 99%, it's possible. And I started reading these books on not how to live longer, but how to prevent disease. And from my doctor, the same one that recommended it, in the book she recommended, it says, our system here is built on curing disease, but not preventing it. Yeah. And we're seeing all these reports come out on these ultra-processed foods, and they're linked to cancer. And all of our meat is fucked and factory farmed here. We don't have like good, well-raised meat that aren't stressed, that don't have a bunch of hormones pumped in them. Eating chicken is a risk. I go to every other country, I see their eggs, yellow, beautiful,
and you
amazing.
can keep them outside the fridge.
You come here and you see these like almost like white bland eggs.
It's pretty much white eggs in a real egg.
And I call myself plant-based because I still, listen, bro, if I'm going to South America, I'm going to eat meat, bro. I'm not going to eat. If I go to, I'm still going to indulge.
The doctor that advised you to go full vegan, it's a normal doctor?
Oh yeah, no. This is a doctor coming from like it's Cedar Sinai. So like to me, this is like they're always fighting for #1 hospital in the country, and the book goes against things. Maybe I shouldn't say too much, but like the book calls out the medical system is fucked up. It's there to make money on you being sick. And this book that she recommended was there of like, this is how you get healthy. The book starts with, my grandma was 65, had so many heart bypasses, and this is the nutritionist, doctor, scientist who wrote this book, said his grandma had 3 heart bypasses or more. The surgeons couldn't operate anymore. It was all scar tissue. And they're like, she's done. Sorry, whatever happens, happens. They find a special program. They put into that program. She was in there for 3 months. The program does nothing with any modern medicine. The program just controlled her exercise and her diet, 100%. She was wheeled in, barely able to breathe. She walked out and lived until 93, 96 years old. Now listen, bro, if you're eating bacon every day and you're not thinking of like what you're doing to your heart, which is what ends up getting most of us, you have to be thoughtful. And I still love fish. I love well-raised meat. Like I'm not somebody who's like, no, you have to be vegan. But I know that like the way they tell us we should be eating has been fucked, bro.
I mean, just check the cereal box. It says calcium, vitamin A, B, and C, and
it's
that's
chemicals.
It's pretty much a piece of fucking eating dirt will be better at that point.
You know, and for us, we're not taught about nutrition, and meat is the most nutrient dense thing you can eat.
I know.
But then the meat they give us is full of hormones, and at every corner, at every turn, they cut corners. And at least for me now, it's like, well, if you don't want this to happen, you have to learn. So I'm not,
Right.
all right, rice and beans, this is a complete protein. Quinoa, this is a complete protein. And I start playing, and any day where I'm like, oh, I don't feel good, boom, I order some fish. And like, makes me feel better usually. Sometimes it's
Right.
not the cure. Sometimes it's like something else.
I mean, maybe. I mean, if it's something for the heart, right? Keep the heart rate up. Will make probably that
Yep,
you know,
high intensity training.
sauna, running.
But I'm trying to get rid of the calcium. So there's like,
I mean, I think if you go full on like, I before I work, I train, and then now I earn my time to go work. Midday, make sure the food is the best you can eat, even if it's
Mhm.
vegan, but it's just clean.
whatever it is, clean. Yeah.
Whatever it is clean. A lot of water.
Do you eat dairy?
Yeah,
You do. Okay, cool. I wasn't sure.
but gotta be raw. Raw milk,
Mm.
raw cheese, raw kefir. There's a brand called Raw Farms.
Mm.
I'm with friends. They make. I went to the farm actually. They milk the cows. I'm gonna of course not explain it the way they would, but I'm gonna do
Sure,
my way.
it's okay.
They milk the cow. Milk goes through these tubes, goes from warm to cold, so you can maintain it, and goes straight to the truck. There's no process. There's no ingredients.
Mhm.
They take that truck to the factory, which is probably a few minutes away. Put the milk on the box. Done.
Why is it not typically done that way?
Because you want to make more money by putting chemicals and preservatives and making differently. It
Mm.
will last for 6 months. This when you open it, gotta be you have to drink it in the next 3 days.
Interesting. Cool.
And
Great. I mean,
I love that.
I don't know a lot about it, but anytime I hear people trying to make food safer, I feel like the only way we all get better is if we start demanding it, right? From like these brands, for our government. You know, like you go to other countries and bro,
It's
most of our
clean.
food is illegal. Like it's
That's fucked. I mean,
Yeah.
And you know what's the crazy part is like no one opened their eyes. Like I was like high level athletes or any businessman that made it to a high level, they understand health becomes first. Normal people like middle America, they have no fucking idea on
Oh, no.
anything. It's Coca-Cola and McDonald's for breakfast. For lunch, they do some fried fucking anything with some sugar, and at night you're fucking.
people just don't know here. And good food has become more expensive over time. And those supply chains decrease, right? I feel like even a few years ago, man, I can't remember this brand. I was keto 4 years ago. Probably didn't fucking help with my heart, but I was keto for, oh my God, probably 5 years ago now. And I found this brand that was really well known for like amazing grass-fed meat or grass-fed beef, and a bunch of just like incredibly amazing, well-run, ethical, everything animal products. They're gone. I think they're like out of business now. I just don't think it's profitable to make good food
Also,
in the U.S.
sometimes the people that make the rules for the food, like the FDA, they fuck with you. If you go that clean and you don't need them too much, they go, you're not good.
Yeah, that part I don't know enough about. I feel like they're
Like I know a little bit because I mean, I don't know how much I can talk about it
sure.
on the company I was talking, but they fuck with you. I mean that's
The
all.
FDA.
Like they go against you if you're not poisoning people, kind of. Because the shit they approve, it's crazy.
Yeah, I wish I knew more about it. It's yeah, I mean the FDA is
It's all
it's an interesting thing because I do believe that we need like some protections from people making bad shit, even in weed, bro. Like years ago, they were using crazy pesticides. They probably still are in companies that they know won't find out.
most of the time when you get like you feel like shit, you get paranoid, or you feel like you're gonna die, it's not the weed. It's because it should have flavor, color, and God knows what else I have on it.
But the only way we stop people, I think, it's a tough thing because I don't know how it relates to like food in general.
It's all
But
related.
whenever I hear that, I'm like, how would that relate to weed? And it's like, well, some regulations are good, but then for me, I never know if what they're stopping is bad. I typically look at what they allow, and like
True.
the shit they allow is really what I think loses trust with the
If
FDA.
you go to other countries and you see like chocolate or the same shit that we have here, they they make it out there with like 3 times less ingredients than they do here.
Yeah.
Like if you check like a pair of M&Ms in Europe, they have like 4 ingredients. You don't have like
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I never looked.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
I mean I don't eat that shit, but I heard that on everything. Even the food out there is everything is better outside the U.S.
I mean, I hate to say it, but I don't. But you're absolutely right. Like, there hasn't been a country I've been to that I feel like didn't have more thoughtful food. I mean, forget about thoughtful food. I go on vacation, I eat like a pig, I come back losing weight, not feeling bad at all. And then I come home and I eat for a week with the food we have here, and I go back to feeling like a little bit bloated. It's been better,
Sluggish.
like lately, at least being somewhat plant-based, but
I'm very
yeah.
thoughtful on what I eat. Like I don't.
You cook a lot for yourself.
I
yeah?
cook a lot for myself. Like I control 100% of my environment, and it's all health.
Sick. Yeah, that has to be necessary. Where do you usually get your meat from? Do you go to like the butcher or?
I have this a sponsor. It's called Certified Pigmontees. It's a meat company out of Nebraska. Grass fed, grass
Okay.
finished. Those
Okay.
cows are like living on paradise. And then
Okay.
they sacrifice to feed
One
us.
bad day, right?
One bad day, but I mean, you live a good life. You're out in the field.
Not like what we see driving up I-5. You ever drive from LA to San Francisco?
No, never.
Oh man, I don't want to. I won't call it the name, but if you're in LA, you probably know the nickname of this cow farm you pass on I-5, and it smells horrible. It looks like they're in bad shape. They don't look happy, and it just makes you sad every single time.
That's fucked up. I mean, I mean, that's the thing with meat and the knowledge of health and things like that. Most people don't really understand what's going on. Most people don't understand how to eat. Like sometimes I go to the supermarket and I see things like says like organic or there's like a healthy batch, and you read the ingredients and you go sugar, processed oils, and you're like,
Yeah.
who in the fuck say this is okay? Like at least put in the cover shitty food, and if you go and buy it, that's up to you. But the normal mom that is not into health, they say, oh, this shit is healthy. You give it to the baby. By the time the baby is 20, that poor kid's been eating shit his whole life.
Yeah, no, they find a way to cheat the system, I feel like, every single time, too. Like, they market health so well. But,
That's what bothers me. Like that really bothers me.
yeah, I feel like I mean, maybe I just don't pay attention when I see it in other countries. But, yeah, it is what it is. It's what it's like to be home. You have to, like, really chase the information on whatever you eat, you know, like plant-based, animal-based, hybrid. It doesn't come easy in the U.S. Like, you have to find it.
You have to find it because most things are just pretty much contaminated.
I mean, absolutely.
Like bad.
Oh, man.
What was what lead up to Puffco? Like how the
Oh,
name
man.
came, how the first one came out.
So you know, we already talked about the me being past opiates and like this is an idea now. Well, I was using dabs to get off of opiates because a dab is like so intense. It really will give you this feeling that will at least subside the desire or like the pain from not having opiates for me at least. So So I kind of fell in love with dabs. It's not something you can take out in New York, bro. You already know this. And so at the time, there was a company. This is one of the first companies that really hit the scene in a big way. They were calling them wax pens in New York, and you could put a little bit of wax in there and run around the city and consume it, and nobody would know you were smoking. You were invisible. This is like 2000, end of 2011, 2012. And at the time, like, you're going to jail, bro. I've been to jail a few times for weed, like in New York, in New Jersey. You're going to go to jail if you get caught. Now I have this thing. I could just walk around New York. Nobody knows. This is before Juul. This is before even like the big box mods that people were hitting. You were invisible. So anyways, I'm hitting these wax pens all across New York. I'm putting my friends on. Bro, we get to just run around smoking dabs anywhere we go. This is amazing. Every time I would put a homie on, their device would break. And then I remember one time I'm smoking with my homie and I'm like trying to get a big hit and I pull it off and I see the plastic on the inside melted. I was just inhaling all that shit.
Shit, not good.
And so I got complained to a friend and I'm like, this is so fucked up. And he was like, yo, man, you seem to really care about these. Why don't you try to make your own? And like, bro, I don't do this. This is not my world. I'm not a designer. I'm not an engineer. I've had like a couple of like startup businesses I've tried. Nothing ever really popped off. All ended in failure. But I didn't know that I couldn't. So I was like, why not? And like, that's a thing I heard in my later years is people will say, you need the right amount of ignorance to do something that sounds crazy. You just need to like think you can when it's impossible. Like getting here, this feels impossible. But I just said, I don't know. I don't know why I wouldn't. So I just started learning and buying every device and thinking of the name. And then the name part was, at this point, I'm in my mom's basement because I deleted my life. I ended my relationship with all my friends that did opiates. I'm like trying to rebuild and figure shit out. And I asked my mom while I was living with her, hey, I finally found a website name that's available. I tried Dabco. I tried some other names that are actually some other company names today. But Puffco was available. Puffco.com was available for $1,200. I can't even believe it cost that much because who the fuck would want that name in 2013? But I asked my mom if I could borrow the money because I was, like I said, I deleted my life before that. So like I was truly in startup mode. And she lent me the money to start the name, and I was already having a vision for a long time. So I knew this person, Chelsea, who is our in-house crazy MMA person, Chelsea Puffco, I'm sure.
That's my first contact in the company.
Yeah, Chelsea's on a sick one with MMA, bro. She loves jiu-jitsu so much. I just started spilling my dream onto people. And as the company started, those people would then go on and like want to join. And very short way of saying how we got here. But it was just born out of me loving cannabis and a friend saying like, maybe you could do something better than this other person. And like that little thing is kind of what pushed me over the edge.
That's very cool. I mean, that's a fresh start from like opiates, not having anything, leaving opiates and be like, and that's the beauty about this. When you just don't know what's in the other side and you just decide to jump.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's like, what do I have to lose? All of my friends from childhood, like, kind of saw me as a fuck up because of the way my life went. The friends I had before were going to keep me a fuck up, so I can't be friends with them. And now what can my future be? Trying to get a real job, trying to, like, please all the expectations around me, or just do what feels good. And for me, this felt really good. It didn't feel like work. And it wasn't. I mean, I was spending money on it. Like, I was like, this could go nowhere. And I just keep spending money. And I remember there was this moment where I was telling this to, like, an old friend. Like, I have this dream that I think, like, we can carve out a space for us just on the consumption side, just on the things you use to consume. And he was like, bro, I think this could be, like, millions of dollars one day. And I'm like, bro, if I could just pay rent and just, like, get by and do this, that would be fucking amazing. Like, that would just be amazing to just do this every day. And here I am 11 years later doing it. But You know, for me, a big part of it was choosing me. It was unpopular when, you know, in 2013 to say, I'm going to be in cannabis. A lot of people are looking at you like you're crazy. If you're a New Yorker, especially,
Right,
because
right.
it's popular in New York, but it's underground. It
And it's
means
not like
yeah.
California weed that is more like go buy okay. Like New York is more hardcore on terms of like smoking weed or selling a product to smoke weed.
I mean, now New York is this open, free space, but back then, you're going to spend a weekend at Central Booking for smoking some weed, which is where they process you after they arrest you. Um, it's scary place to be. The cops are looking for you. Like it, you know, people thought it was a death sentence to your career to be in cannabis. And that's how people treated me in the early stage of the business. I try to hire people. I got a couple of amazing people that they're still with me to this day. But a lot of those early stage people, they just saw it as like, let me help this shitty cannabis company in New York. When we moved to LA, it flipped, bro. It went from like people seeing us as like a favor or like, oh, I'll help you, but like I'll never work for you because this is embarrassing. Like I had people not take a job and say my parents would be embarrassed if I was in cannabis. In like 2016, I got a denial
They
in
probably
one of my
don't make
interviews.
it.
Once we came to LA, we had people that were applying from SpaceX, from Beats by Dre, from like massive companies that were like, cannabis is the fucking future, man. We want to be in early. Like we think this is going to be the biggest thing ever. And so like New York, amazing place. That's my home. It's my nationality. I consider myself a New Yorker until I die. Um, but it was also a place where it was really tough to make it 12 years ago.
That
11 years
probably
ago.
helped the drive in LA because you scramble so hard there that when you find some comfort and push in LA, you say, "Fuck, I'm gonna take the world with this thing."
I mean, you know, yeah, yes, for sure. I feel like this is my bias. If you're a New Yorker, you have an edge going anywhere. Like put us anywhere in the world and we'll find a way, type shit. Um, but I feel like the relief of I'm in a place where people aren't judging me. Like I just get to have this conversation now. Like I get to talk to an executive about my dream for cannabis and cannabis culture and the things we can create. And they're excited. They don't see it as like, maybe this will make money. They're like, oh my God, I want that future too. And that's what the company is filled with, is like
They can
cannabis.
see
Yeah.
the vision. They can see that there's something good at the end. And I
Yeah.
mean, look where it's at, and it just keeps getting better. And the more I go into it, the more people I see with one device, with one. They take one there, they take one here. They're smoking one, and
Sure.
it's a clean high. I mean, it's good. It's just good.
Oh no, it's great. I'm trying to take it easy just because too many of these and I'm going to lose my ability to communicate. I'm already all over the place. Sorry, everyone listening.
What was the first model you made?
The first model. The first model was, so the first thing we did was try to make something better than that other product, the wax pen. And I got to work on one. It was just me, whatever people I could find to connect me with any factory in China. Like I had no idea where to begin. And I tried to make something, and when it came, I tried it and I'm like, this isn't better. It's good, but it's not better. So I had that one order. We sold it to a few shops. And then I got to work on my second one, and I went with a plan. I want a much bigger capacity. So like at the time it came out, it was the biggest chamber for hash, or wax as we called it, around at the time. I want the battery to have 3 temperature settings. That wasn't a thing with any wax pens at the time. And I just came in with, these are the things I will do that will really, really make it different. And that was a device called the Puffco Pro. I know it's confusing. We have the Peak Pro now. But the Puffco Pro is just a pen with a coil in it, really big chamber, 3 settings. It didn't use any of the garbage materials that other companies use, so it tasted way better. And that was our first one. And that ended up winning. Again, that product was made just me communicating with people that I could find. That product won High Times Vaporizer of the Year, 2015. Wow. And that's what took us from like this little company in New York that nobody would have heard of us, and just blew us up everywhere. Yeah.
There's every color, every flavor. Like the little ball right now is my favorite.
Oh, the Ripple.
That one, and that one is like never
It
ends
rips.
too.
It rips. That thing
That
fucks
never
me
ends.
up.
The first time I did it, I'm thinking like it's like one of the other ones, and I'm like going, and then I went, oh, I'm a little out of the age.
Yeah.
I fucked up. So I just close the garage, turn the lights off, and just be like, you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
It's so funny. Yeah, it's the Ripple. So this is the Proxy, right? And right now it's attached to a custom piece made by an artist that makes wooden pipes. JD Allred, shout out to him. But you can take this thing that's in here and put it into many different pieces. Some many artists make. Some we make ourselves. You're describing the Ripple.
Right.
And that's a super dope one. But this is if you love hash, if you're here for the cannabis, you've either heard of this, and if you haven't, fall down the whole Puffco Proxy. This is what I use every day. Personally, this is my number one used Puffco product, which is why it's on the table with me today. But yeah, that's Ripple is absolutely, it's a little ripper.
It's
in the
heavy,
name.
yeah. That one, every time I have someone coming by to search, I'm like, try this one first. I always start with that one.
As a joke, just like
Kind of, yeah.
hilarious. Hilarious.
Everybody
That's a
did
good
that to
one.
me, so I have to do it to somebody.
I mean, when I was first getting put onto hash, that was the tech. You would torch somebody up a really hot dab and just let them cough their brains out. It was how I got introduced.
I think everybody.
Yeah, I don't agree with it anymore. Now I try to be gentle because I don't want to scare people away. But yeah, that used to be the
Yeah, like
fucking tech.
a hot dab will fuck you up.
It can. Yeah, absolutely. It will. Yeah, for sure.
Like I don't go more than 450, 500. And I keep it there for flavor, for everything. But if you go like 600, 650,
No, it's
Good luck.
also not good for you. I think that like there are studies that like over 680 or 700 degrees, it's like potentially harmful.
yeah, but people just want to get numb sometimes. I'm like, you don't need to go that far.
I mean, listen, you can hit Peak Pro with 3D XL at 550 on XL Vapor. I know these are like really techie terms, but like if you fall into it, you can get blasted at lower temps.
That
And on a nail too, obviously.
yeah, the bigger chamber. I'm not I don't use those. I use the small chambers.
I know. Me
like
too.
if I have a guest at home and they want a big chamber, I'm gonna go for. I'm a little chamber guy.
I am also a little chamber guy. It's a funny thought to run with, but I am. I love my Proxy, man. I mean,
They're great. I mean that collab that you did with the glass that the water runs forward and backward.
Ryan Fit.
That's one of my favorites right now. Like that's my everyday.
The Ryan Fit recycler.
Yeah, even when I travel, I wrap it in t-shirts so I can bring it because I have the traveler one, but that one is my favorite right now.
Ryan Fit fucks with you too, man. It's funny. It's funny you bring up his name, but more on that in the future. I might be working on a little piece for you.
I did love that. I will definitely smoke out of it.
Whew, that fucked me up. Did you want to hit this, by the way?
I've been smoking joint all day
Okay,
today.
great. God bless.
Thank you, bro. At least I get my workout in the morning, which is great, and then I'm gonna go run later. So,
How long is your typical run?
Like today, I will do like no more than 5 miles just to keep the blood flowing,
Okay.
and like make sure tomorrow the energy is good for tomorrow.
How often do you take like the 30-mile run?
The 13.
Oh,
or
13. I think you
30
said 30. I was like,
No,
how's that even
between
possible?
15 and 13, I do like twice a month, 3 times a month.
Okay.
Like, usually depends where I am with camp. Like, a few weeks ago, I went to Oregon to visit a friend, and we did 15 miles off the plane. He's
Damn.
like, you want me to drop in the hotel? I'm like, bro, if you drop in the hotel, I'm gonna lay down. I already flew to Oregon. Let's go train. So he took me to this trail, and we went up a mountain, get to the top, come down, run a few miles, get to a different one. When we get to the first mountain, he told me, "You see that fucking rock over there?" And it was like almost as far as the sun. And I'm like, "Sure, yeah, we're going there now." I went like, "No, but you can beach down." So I was like, "Fuck it, let's go." But the climb up in the first mountain, it wasn't even like a regular trail. That shit was kind of like you have to crawl.
No.
It wasn't even a path. We were going like up on trees. It was not.
Do you have to reverse back down? Like
No, the way down was normal.
okay.
But the way up was like fucking crazy. Like we ran,
Damn.
but beautiful woods.
Damn.
Like it was like just running there was enhancing my performance. I was just like, he's like, "How you feeling?" I'm like, "Dude, I'm fucked up, but this is amazing." Like because I
Sick.
mean, it was literally off the plane. I changed in the fucking parking lot of the thing,
Damn.
and I'm not running with a regular guy. I'm running with Cameron Haynes,
Damn.
which is a fucking superhero.
Damn.
And his homie was like this like Olympic athlete, and that he have like world records, and he was telling me like he can run a mile in 3 minutes. I went like, holy fuck. Like this type of people run like 60 miles in one day just because they thought it was cool to.
Was it always a part of your training, the running?
I start running, not always. I used to run on my early fight, but it was more for like health. Like let's go like I would do by time back then. I didn't have something to control the miles or the pace.
Sure.
I would usually I'm gonna run for 20 minutes, then for 30, then for an hour, and then I would do this thing like I would run 20 minutes for a few weeks, then 30 minutes, then an hour.
Damn.
And then getting close to the fight, I will reverse. I will go, I'm going to run for 30 minutes and close to the fight for 20. I thought I would do more going up and then less leading up to.
Wow.
And it helped me, but it didn't help me much because an hour of running is nothing.
Sure.
At that pace I was going when I was a kid, I was like,
You're going on trails and stuff. It's
yeah, like
crazy.
when you go up or when you go to the track and you pick up the pace, that's a different animal. So now that I run kind of like follow a program, like I used to do long distance every weekend. Doesn't matter where it was.
Damn.
Now I'm changing a little bit of I'm going a little shorter, but I'm going faster.
Higher
I'm
intensity.
doing a more plyometrics. I'm changing little things on my game because I'm extremely durable and I'm strong. But sometimes you need a little bit more of mobility, be more agile, more just like a gymnastic, like be more jumpy.
Is this your own? So when you're approaching training, is it like your own philosophy on how you train, or do you have like, you know, a coach or a teacher or somebody you count on that's like helping you approach it?
Like I have my main guy, like my
Yeah.
coach, Jason Perillo, like he's my head coach. He told me his opinion on what I should do and when I should do it. And I do exactly what he says because
Okay.
the guy have multiple world champions. The guy is
Sure. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
everybody that came to him become a champion.
Mm.
So we talk about it. We're like, okay, coach, last fight I was doing this. He's like, okay, let's reverse things. Instead of like lifting heavy and running crazy, let's do more jumpy things. Let's find a conditioning guy that will make you spark more. So we're working on that now. And
That's
then
sick.
I have a jiu-jitsu coach, I have a wrestling coach, and then I have a conditioning coach. But the main guy that I always go to my main guy, and I'm like, coach, I've been doing a lot of this type of techniques on wrestling. What do you think? He's like, next time you spar, show me those entries, show me that defense to see if it's working. So
Damn.
even when we spar, we just don't spar hard. Like I go extremely hard.
Sure.
That's not hard to me. Like if I go, let's just fucking see who have the bigger balls. That's the easiest way to go for me.
Sure. Okay.
But it's also good to work because it's harder when you're like, okay, now I'm gonna set up things, move my feet better, try different things. If I can meet you in the middle and fucking go till someone die, that's not hard to do. But also someone can move. Like my last fight, the guy moved well, and it was harder for me to catch him because I'm really plant in the ground, just like I'm always like I'm a punch away to knock you out because I hit hard. But also
Sure.
you need to add things to your game. So now from that experience, and it's still number 4 in the world. So I'm like pretty much a fight away from a bigger opportunity or another title shot.
Sure,
like,
you're the people's champ, bro.
Now it's time to like add things to my game. So
Yeah.
like we always start trying to like figure it out. What can I do better this time? Win or lose. But when you lose, you obviously are trying to find the mistake, where it fell, what I
Of
could do
course.
better. So right now I'm doing that instead of like going that crazy of long distance. I'm doing more explosive things, and I've been feeling great. I've been sparring, and
Damn.
I don't feel that I lost my cardio. I haven't lost my power, but now I'm like
Focusing on
moving
other
better.
areas. Yeah, man.
Moving
And
better.
like, that's amazing too. I mean, I feel like failure is so necessary in so many areas, right? Like you're training in the gym, like you don't grow if you don't have muscle failure. Your muscles aren't going to get any fucking bigger. And if you don't hit a wall, it's got to be dope to have a team that is focused constantly on where you can improve as like a person. Like I have that with like a nutritionist. You know what I mean? Like somebody who's like, "Oh, try this week and try this and see how it feels." And I get obsessed on that. So to hear that you have somebody who's like, "All right, bro, try these practices or like do this run." Sick.
Like I feel like we as humans, we need that people that give you advice and like push you up and kind of like, it's like, I mean, if you surround yourself with people that just want to sit down drinking beer watching the game, you're not getting much.
Yeah.
If
for
you're surrounded
sure.
with people that is like trying to get better, trying to find a goal, trying to figure out how to make it, okay, I failed today, how I can get it, go ask your other successful friend or creative friend or smart friend, like, dude, what you think about this? I'm planning on move more like this or go this direction with the company. And if you ask, you're going to find a lot of good answers.
How do you find, because I think most people don't even, like you have this crazy professional team that's like all goats in their respective field helping you reach your own goals. How do you find these people like in your life, you know?
I mean, you go through experience. Like at the beginning of my career, I don't had nobody. Or I had few other coaches that they weren't that good, that had a big ego, and they're like, this is what you have to do, not what you need to do. So they want to picture themselves through you, so they don't give you the proper advice. And then you go like, hey, I was talking to this other coach and he told me like I could do this better, and he goes like, they get mad about it. Like once you get to a point that you keep scratching the surface but you don't get there, and you keep trying these other people, but when clicks, I mean, I'm guessing it's the same in any other industry. You're trying to make it with this thing, and you're like, how I can make this work, who I can partner up to push me the right direction, who can invest the right way, because not every investor is going to be the best. The money is the same, but the person, how that person thinks, might change the what you're doing or where you want to go. So I've been on few teams since I started my career, and now I get to a place that I'm like, it becomes like a manufacturer. Like one guy is in charge of the whole thing. This guy,
it's like a company. Like,
it is a company.
Yeah.
And to me, I love the people, and I'm like, these people they only want to push me up.
Hell
I mean, if one person in there doesn't want to move forward or doesn't want to see all of us celebrate, that person is deleted. No emotion attached. Like, I could love you, but if you're not pushing up, you're pushing down.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Of course. Is there somebody in your life that you feel like when they came, things got better fast, right? Because I feel like you meet a lot of people and things go, but some people, things move faster than with others.
I mean, with my head coach.
Right
like,
now, yeah.
Like before him, I was in that like middle ground. I will win few fights and I lose one, and then I will win again, and then lose. And I was like, "Fuck! What the fuck should I do to like break through?" And because when you break through, it's like you go from this to like a total different human.
Sure.
And you can tell that in which fight your life changes, and people look you weird. People like, "Oh shit, that's that guy."
Sure.
Like, there's this one moment in my career, like before that, I was just another guy. Like, oh yeah, he fights in the UFC.
Yeah.
Meaning like, oh yeah, that guy likes the color red. That's a man.
Yeah, sure. It's just another guy.
You're just another guy. And then I went until the next fight, and I did something crazy. And from now on, everything is like, that's the guy.
Yeah.
Look the guy. Pay attention. Oh,
Yeah.
look, he have red shoes. Oh, red shoes are cool. And they were
Yeah.
like, but this wasn't happening before I had my coach. This one coach that is with me.
Yeah.
And but this is not like a transition for like 2 years. We've been together like for 5 years. So
Sure.
it's years of like talking about the same shit, how to do it,
Mhm.
when to do it, and repeat it over time because people get bored. People
Shout
get,
out to
"Dude."
him, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's the man,
Big
bro.
shout out to him. That's
He's the
amazing
man.
that he's done that.
Because before him, I was like, I'm tough. I want this more than life itself, but who can just fucking put that extra salt and
Yeah.
then the recipe comes out good and that it's one part in my opinion and the other part is like your personal circle, your family has to be healthy.
Yo,
You-
amen.
I mean, I know people that have like crazy relationship or just like big drama inside, and sometimes that drags you down out of what
Mhm.
you're doing
Oh, yeah.
inside.
Yep.
And that's another thing that is like life is just an endless book of different configurations. You gotta be like, oh, I figured this out. You have 1,000 more codes to go right now.
Yeah.
It's like when
yeah.
the matrix coming down, it's like it never ends.
Straight up. Straight up.
It
I mean,
never ends.
it's a good point too. I feel like if your home life is fucked up, the other shit, it just never gets to pop off like it should. Like that stability you build at home translates to all the professional stuff. But
And like we all humans, and at some point
yeah.
you will step on a rock or you will like hit your pink in the fucking side of the bed, and you have to have the mindset to be like, this is fucked up, but I'm gonna
Yeah.
leave this here, and I'm gonna once I get here, I'm gonna
Yeah.
bring the best attitude. I'm gonna become the best version of myself. Because if
10,000%.
that one thing drag you, it could be a huge thing. But
Sure.
if that drag you,
That part too.
you won't
man.
make it because you're here. You also gotta learn how to let go and keep pushing forward because that's a different animal. Once you're able to do that, you can do anything your mind set
I
up.
mean, it's really hard, man. Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to all the people that do show up when things are fucking tough as hell at home and they're able to leave it behind. I know that's hard as hell as well.
I mean, that's when you graduate from a regular to a fucking hero on your own self, on your own history.
Totally. Yeah.
Because like, shit is not easy out there, but I mean,
Yeah.
it's gonna be more shitty if you don't give it a try and a push.
You could definitely tell we've been smoking on this podcast. We're bouncing around a bit. I wonder how much we've gone off the rails.
It's perfect.
Yeah,
Doing
it's
great?
very
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Sweet.
that's what it's all about.
Amazing.
Dance, feel, whatever.
We just getting to know each other more.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is kind of how we'd be talking anyways if we were just
I don't
sitting
think
down.
we haven't
yeah.
changed. We wouldn't we change a thing.
Yeah.
Like not one thing.
Mm.
I think you guys have covered some amazing stuff.
Yeah, I'm like, this is good.
Great. Well, we were talking about like the teenage stuff, and I'm like, damn, man, the story is out there, by the way. Like I've told that story on my page. I think we made a little clip of it. I try to put out like the anti-opiate stuff
You
as
have
much
to.
as I can.
I mean, that show.
You probably met a ton of homies too, bro. Like in your world, it's got to be rampant.
Athletes that they
Yeah.
broke a leg or they get injured and they get hooked up and then life didn't went right and downhill. I mean, that documentary on Netflix about opiates makes you angry.
Which one?
What's the name of the one? What's the name of the?
Oh
Oxy
yeah,
one?
it's like the family, right? Like about the family that made it.
Yeah.
Well, Dope Sick was it was like a show.
What's the name?
Dope Sick,
No. There's one in Netflix, like a good one.
they all make you angry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they make you.
I think it was about the Was it about the family that
and
made
they,
it?
They got one
Sackler.
crazy.
Yeah, the Sackler family, those sick fucks. I mean, God, the amount of bodies they have on their hands, and
Yeah, those
all
guys
for
are
money.
evil.
I mean, it's a weird country, bro. Like, heroin, very illegal, going to jail for a long time. Opiates, less illegal, I guess, if you have a script. Not hard to get a script. Meth, very illegal. Adderall, pretty easy to get. It's like, it's such a...
It's the pharmaceutical.
It's
Yeah.
it's almost like, hey, look, this one, the street one, is very illegal, But the ones that we made, which has the same ingredients, it's a sad
The only part for me that's more fucked up than that is just people going to jail. Like, it's like, fine, if you only want to be the one to sell it to us, like, whatever, maybe we could live with that, I guess. Like, I don't want meth or heroin, so it's fine for me. But they just have so many people in jail for this shit. It's crazy.
Yeah, there was
Anyways.
I believe it was Damian Marley, have a weed called Evidence. I used to smoke it a lot. One of my good friends used to bring it to me all the time. And what they do is they get funds from their company to bring people out of Yale that's been convicted for having like
Sick.
a little bit of weed, and where I believe where the factories where they make the weed, it's in an inside of an old Yale. So it's kind of like they have like a
I heard
cool
of
thing
this.
going on. And
No, he's cool, man, and that's a great mission to be on. And yeah, I fuck with that. I also, yeah, I don't know. I'm just high now. I'm like, this country, man, we need to make some fucking changes. Like, it's not enough, fast enough.
We definitely need changes, and everybody
yeah.
have a different thought
Yeah.
on the political thing. If we put everything aside, just do it right. I mean, don't get too
Yeah.
get too crazy with ingredients, with like owning this. I mean, and sometimes it's a lot of
Yeah.
propaganda to like. There's a lot of fake news, and it's just
We're at a weird, I mean, yeah, and especially like politics. I know there's probably mad diversity amongst all the fans, but we're in a complicated time, and I feel like we get two shitty options, and we all don't really get any progress. And I hope things get better here.
they
I hope
will. I
we
mean,
can stop eating fucking processed foods.
Yeah.
And anyways, I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna shut up. I have thoughts, but
Hey.
they're best saved. I've been media trained. I have been media trained a little bit, and media training is shut the fuck up. That's how it normally goes, and I'm listening right now. Shout out to the team.
Hey, the team got your back, and
Yeah, no, that
it's
was good.
bro. Thanks for coming by. It's been great to have.
Oh my
you,
god,
man.
thank you, bro. Yeah, I'm high as
Appreciate you.
shit. I'd be hanging here for hours. Wow, that passed. Damn, this has been going on for a minute. Wow, this is like one of the longer things I've done. Yeah, thank you for having me on.
Anytime,
I
my
didn't
bro.
fucking realize this much time had passed.
This is when we started this, and now we're wrapping up. To me, was like who you wanna talk. Like Roddy helped me a lot with like, because we think about it, how we can do it. I mean,
Sure.
This is not hard to do. You just gotta the same conversation we're gonna have in my garage. Is the
Yeah.
same we're having here, right? And if I know good people, which I do know good people, and I appreciate you
Yeah.
for being good to me and send me the best Puffco I can ever use. Appreciate that.
Of
And
course.
to me, it's like just talk to the people.
No, this is great, dude.
Simple as that.
I love it. Thank you for having me on. One, thank you for repping hash as hard as you do, man. I'll definitely point some of my fans towards this, the ones that see this message. But you are one of the greatest advocates we have for this hash we love so much here. And it's crazy to me that you've been doing it since 2012. Like, that's an unexpected part of Chito lore that I hope everybody appreciates. And yeah, man, this is fucking great. All the pressure is off of me. You got to ask the questions to keep things interesting. I'm the
Right.
guest. So, like, I fuck with it heavy, man. Thank you
Yeah,
for having
no,
me on.
Anytime, my bro.
If Mikey is here in a luchador mask, I need to at least be on the other side of these cameras.
no,
I want to be here
what
for
I
that.
told him was like, I give him two options.
Two options. Poor
He
Mikey.
can stay behind the cameras with a mic,
Okay.
or we put him on a luchador mask. That would be epic.
Mikey, the luchador mask is going to shoot you to fame. Like, everyone wants to see it. I'm a vote for don't do it shirtless, but you should put on, there should be a top.
A vest.
A vest.
A vest.
Mikey, the luchador with the I'm telling you, dog, people are going to care. People are going to be like, Mikey, what the fuck is up? That's what you're going to go from what's up, Mikey, to what the fuck is up, Mikey. So
There you go.
please, hopefully there will be another episode of this,
No,
and I hope to be there.
We'll make it again,
My
my bro.
brother,
Thanks
thank
for
you so
coming.
much, bro. Appreciate you.
Peace, everybody.
Peace.